From the very first second, this illusion captures anyone's attention. What initially seems like a simple trick involving a deck of cards and an aquarium ends up becoming such a baffling demonstration that thousands of people online began speculating with impossible explanations. In this video, we are going to break down step by step how Cyril Takayama's famous illusion really works, both in its signed card version and in the version where he retrieves a necklace from inside the water. What's surprising isn't just that the card appears inside the aquarium, but that Cyril pushes his hand through the glass as if it were a soft surface. Before you realize it, you're questioning your own eyes. Everything begins with a spectator signing a card. That signature is not a minor detail. It's the guarantee that what comes next appears absolutely authentic. After signing it, the card is shuffled back into the deck and, seemingly, becomes lost. At that moment, Cyril throws all the cards toward the aquarium, as if he were simply improvising. But something impossible happens. The signed card appears inside the water, completely stuck to the inner glass. Up to that point, anyone would think the illusion has already reached its most shocking moment. But the act is only getting started. Cyril walks to the opposite side of the aquarium and, in front of the cameras, pushes his hand straight through the glass, as if passing through a liquid surface. He removes the signed card and displays it, identical to the original. Nothing appears out of place, and that's when the illusion goes viral. Before continuing, please give us a like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Cyril's popularity grew so much that theories with no real basis began to appear. Some YouTube channels, without knowledge of professional techniques, tried to explain the trick by inventing unrealistic ideas, even going so far as to label it demonic. This exaggerated reaction was born from ignorance. The most advanced secrets of professional illusionism are not usually found in common tutorials. The lack of information led to pure speculation. But when you carefully observe the card before and after it is removed from the aquarium, it's clear they are identical, with no signs of substitution. To those who claimed someone off-camera could have forged the signature, it's worth remembering that replicating a signature with that level of precision is practically impossible. The exact match proves it is the same card. That doesn't mean Cyril worked alone. While he didn't use accomplices among the spectators, he did rely on the essential participation of a hidden assistant as part of the setup. After the card appears to be lost in the deck, a strange gesture occurs that many people don't notice. That gesture is no coincidence. It corresponds to a manipulation technique called a cascade control. This move allows a card to be transferred from the middle of the deck to the top without anyone noticing. When we watch an exposed demonstration of the move, we can see how the target card slides out from the middle while the rest fall underneath. When comparing this demonstration with Cyril's routine, the similarities are clear. The signed card is the one that remains visible, while the other cards pass below it. At that moment, without anyone suspecting it, the card is already on top of the deck. Immediately after, a camera cut occurs. That cut is not accidental. It's necessary to hide the key action. Since the signed card was not duplicated, Cyril had to transfer it to his assistant standing behind him. The cut covers the exact moment when he palms the top card with one hand and discreetly hands it to his assistant, who prepares the setup inside the aquarium. From here, we enter the most complex part of the trick. To better understand it, let's review 4 essential elements that reveal the hidden mechanism. First, when Cyril throws the cards against the glass, one card appears to jump up from beneath the aquarium and rise toward the glass. That movement does not come from the deck, but from the hidden mechanism inside the aquarium's base. Second, near the end, when Cyril pulls his arm out of the glass, a significant water leak can be seen. If the glass had truly become liquid, the hole should close instantly. Instead, the water continues leaking for a few more seconds until it suddenly stops. That abrupt interruption is a huge clue to how everything works. Third, if the card appears on one side of the aquarium, why doesn't Cyril insert his hand from that same side? Why does he walk to the opposite end? The answer is simple. On the side where the card is, there is no opening prepared for the arm. That side is only designed to reveal the card. Fourth, in a key frame, you can clearly see that the card is glued to the inner glass. That's why it partially tears when Cyril removes it. The attachment wasn't perfect. The aquarium used is not ordinary. It's a custom-made piece with a hollow base where the assistant can hide to place the card previously handed to them by Cyril. After applying adhesive to the back, the assistant sticks it onto a movable acrylic panel that slides inside the structure. This inner panel is not locked at the top or bottom of the frame. The fixed outer glass is what holds the water. The sliding panel allows the card to appear by magic when it is pushed upward by the assistant, which explains the sudden jump seen beneath the aquarium. The side of the aquarium where the card is revealed has no hole for the arm, which is why Cyril must go to the opposite side. There, a double mechanism exists. The fixed glass has a hole perfectly aligned with another hole in the sliding panel. To prevent constant leakage, transparent tape covers the inside of the fixed glass, acting as a temporary barrier. When Cyril reaches the other side of the aquarium, he places a napkin over the glass. This is not decoration or a dramatic gesture. It's an essential part of the concealment. The napkin hides the exact point where he will puncture the tape to allow his arm to pass through the structure. If he tried to do it without covering the area, the tape would be obvious to any nearby spectator, completely ruining the illusion. The napkin works as a layer of misdirection while he performs the most delicate part of the trick. At the moment he presses the napkin against the glass, you can see the paper sink slightly inward. That detail reveals that behind the napkin, there is no solid glass, but a space protected by adhesive tape. As soon as the tape is punctured, water immediately begins to leak. This indicates that the holes in the inner glass and the sliding panel were correctly aligned. Instead of pulling back, Cyril forcefully pushes his arm through the opening, using his forearm as a seal to stop the leak. His skin acts as a temporary barrier, preventing more water from escaping while he performs the maneuver inside the aquarium. That sudden push is not theatrical. It's the only way to prevent a major overflow. While keeping his arm inside, Cyril locates the borrowed necklace or the card, depending on the version of the trick, and quickly grabs it. Because his arm itself is sealing the hole from the inside, the audience cannot see what's happening behind the panel. All they perceive is his arm passing through the glass and extracting an object, which creates total shock because it completely contradicts what the brain understands as possible. When Cyril removes his arm, the water begins to leak again for a few seconds. This is one of the most revealing clues to the real mechanism. If the glass had changed state or magically opened, the leak would make no sense. The reason it keeps dripping is that the hole remains aligned between the movable panel and the fixed glass. Only when the assistant lowers the sliding panel does the leak stop abruptly. That final movement is what completely seals the aquarium, restoring the appearance of intact glass. Once the workings of the signed card version are understood, it becomes evident that the necklace variation uses exactly the same mechanical principle. In this second version, Cyril borrows a necklace from the audience and drops it into the aquarium. He then prepares the napkin, repeats the same maneuver, and passes through the panel, extracting the necklace as if his hand had gone through a solid block of glass. For the casual viewer, this seems even more impossible than the card version, because there is no card stuck to a panel that could be mistaken for the trick. Here, the object is loose inside the water, making the illusion feel much more direct. The purpose of using two glass panels instead of one is simple. If there were only a single panel with a hole and tape, the water pressure would be enough to tear it off immediately. Even a small puncture would cause an uncontrollable leak. By using two panels, one fixed and one movable, the trick can be performed without the risk of catastrophic flooding. The fixed glass holds the water while the tape keeps the hole sealed. The movable glass, on the other hand, allows an aligned opening to be created only while Cyril needs to perform the trick. The tape serves two essential functions. First, it blocks the water from escaping before the trick begins. Second, it covers a wide area, because if it only covered the hole itself, internal pressure would push at the edges and create visible leaks. A large adhesive area is the only thing that prevents the water from escaping prematurely. This tape is visible from certain angles, which is why spectators at live shows are carefully managed. In fact, in one of the demonstrations, the on-stage spectators were accomplices. Their reactions were staged, and their positions were not random. If they had been real, unprepared spectators, they would have easily noticed the presence of the tape inside the aquarium, even from a distance. The napkin is another element that creates confusion. Many viewers think its function is purely theatrical, but it is crucial for disguising the act of puncturing the tape. Without the napkin, it would be obvious that Cyril is manipulating a specific point on the glass. Additionally, when a child invited on stage taps the aquarium to prove it's real, he does so in a carefully selected area of the glass. He never touches the area where the hole covered by tape is located. This is no coincidence. He was instructed to tap a safe spot that wouldn't compromise the illusion. When Cyril finally punctures the tape, you can see the water begin to leak slowly. This is the clearest sign that we are dealing with a real physical mechanism, not a supernatural manipulation. Once his arm is fully inside, the leak stops because his forearm acts as a plug. Then, when he removes his arm, the leak briefly resumes until the assistant lowers the sliding panel, sealing the entire system again. This final lowering of the panel is why the leak stops immediately. The hole is no longer aligned. This double glass system allows Cyril to perform both versions of the trick using the same aquarium, simply by adjusting the position of the movable panel and the assistant's preparation. Whether using a signed card or a borrowed necklace, the base mechanism is identical. A hidden sliding panel, an assistant who places the object inside, a taped point prepared to be punctured, and precise control of viewing angles to prevent the audience from detecting the modification. The success of this illusion depends not only on the tricked aquarium, but on perfect synchronization between Cyril and his assistant. Every step, from the initial card manipulation to the final extraction, is structured so the audience looks exactly where he wants them to, and never where the real action happens. The illusion combines card manipulation, hidden engineering, and absolute control of the audience's point of view. That's why this routine became so famous. It blends multiple disciplines of illusionism into a single fluid act. Once the key elements are resolved, it becomes clear that the illusion is ingenious, precise, and built on a combination of technique and prior preparation. Nothing is improvised. No gesture is accidental.
Everything is designed to look like a miracle that defies logic. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, subscribe, and press the notification bell to receive all our updates. A big hug, and see you in the next video.